Hello, all of my beautiful YouTube people. Today we're talking about my hair. Why shouldn't I talk about my hair? What's wrong with you? Tell me it's not a serious enough reason to make a video. Well, it is. It's very important. Sorry, I'm a little high on Vicks Vapor Rub. Okay, so why do I want to talk about my hair? I'm not really gonna talk about my hair. I'm gonna kind of indirectly talk about my hair. Um, Basically, for those of you guys who follow my channel, you know that I am somebody who very quickly gets bored with my look. I have changed my appearance about as drastically as you really can in the course of my life. I mean, I've had pink hair, I've had purple hair, I've had blonde several times. I had like white blonde. I had like reddish hair now for a while, which I didn't really like. My natural hair color is I don't know. Like in Europe, definitely it's considered brown. Like if I go in the sun, my hair is a little bit weird. Like if I go in the sun and like the sunlight hits it, it definitely looks more of a blondish brown than it does inside, where it looks kind of more darker. So I would say it's maybe like a light brown. Uh, anyway, I've had it short, I've had it long, I've had it braided, I've had dreads, I've had curly hair, I've straightened my hair. My hair is naturally curly. I don't know. I've had cornrows. In terms of dressing, I've had times where I wanted to look as yuppie as possible. I have times where I wanted to look like a hippie. I had times when I was only wearing yoga pants, and then there was times when I thought I was a rap star. A few years when I was living in LA, and I had cornrows, and I would wear like fronts and like oversized baggy clothes. Currently, I'm kind of thinking I want to grow my hair maybe like chin length and do kind of a '90s boy band look. Because why not? Like life is short. If I don't like it, I can just change it back, right? I mean, I've been super skinny and I've been like more big. I've been considered a twink, and I've had times when I was probably considered more of a bear. Now I'm probably kind of in that cub phase. Um, which who cares, right? In the big scheme of things, except that I've become a very passive dater. And what I'm saying by passive dater is I like to come on YouTube and complain about the fact that I'm single, as you guys know. I like doing that with my friends. I like telling me, like, oh my god, I'm so lonely. Why doesn't anybody love me? I can't be bothered to actually go out and meet somebody. Oh my god, I'll never find true love. Oh, I don't want to be with anybody. It's too much work. I'm whatever. I don't really want to put myself out there. So what I mean by passive dating is that, if I'm like bored or something, I might like open up my Tinder or Scruff. There's like a app I use very occasionally. And, if you meet people through dating sites or dating apps, obviously you have to like upload pictures of yourself. Well, the thing is, like, I generally upload pictures of me in all of my different versions that have been around. Because I'm always like, well, I want to be semi honest with people. They might catch me in a time when I'm doing the full beard and, like a really short buzzed cut, looking like I'm straight out of a leather bar. And then, for all I know, the next thing I'm doing, I'm rocking blonde highlights and I'm clean shaven and I look like I belong in a woman's band, right? Like it's like I should be dancing backup for Beyonce or something. So it happens quite often to me that people will ask, what do you currently look like, or what's the most current picture and stuff like that. Which when they ask that question, I already know that it's kind of like, well, so basically what you're saying is you find me attractive in this way, but you don't find me that attractive in another way. But yeah, in the last week or so, I've actually started talking to two guys and already stopped talking to two guys who both were basically like, I like guys with short brown hair. And then at some point they were like, do you have long hair or short hair right now? And I was like, I have long hair. And the gist of the story is one of them blocked me then, the other one just never talked to me again. Because I was like, I do have short hair right now, but I don't guarantee that that's how I'm gonna look for the next 40 years of my life, because it's just not. That's just not who I am. I'm just somebody who changes my look up all the time, and you know, and this kind of made me think about preference versus shallow. And I feel like I made a video about this long time ago, probably when I first started YouTube, where I was talking to people when I was saying how, for me, a preference, when somebody says this is just my preference or this is my preference, a preference for me is something that is immutable characteristic about somebody. I'm attracted to men. I'm not attracted to women. A woman cannot be a man. In theory, I know it's 2023, and a woman can be a tree, and a tree can be a horse, and a horse can be a man can be genderqueer, and a genderqueer person can be a frog, and a fairy self, and a himger, jibberjap, whatever. But for all the people who are not leftist crazy people, the whole idea of heterosexuality is you're attracted to someone of the opposite sex, and that cannot be changed. Homosexuality, I'm attracted to somebody of the same sex, that cannot be changed. That is a preference, and I wouldn't judge somebody for that. And same thing is like, so if somebody's like, I'm not attracted to black men or Asian men, that's something you see a lot in the gay community. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't probably some underlying bigotry there, the same way that I made a video where I talked to you guys about why for a really long time I kind of convinced myself that I wasn't attracted to white men, because I think there was some kind of ingrained something that I got from the left that made me think that. But I would still not tell people to really fight what their preference is. If you're not attracted to black people, then that's fine. If you're not attracted to white people, then that's fine. If you're not attracted to women or men, that's fine. If you're not attracted to short people, that's fine. And I would say that I don't necessarily categorize that as shallow. Like I said, I do think there might be some underlying reasons why you feel the way you feel. And if you're somebody who, like me, spends way too much time analyzing every single thing about my life, and that's why I make all these videos talking about all kinds of random crap that probably nobody cares about, including my hair, which is, by the way, glorious. I actually really like my hair. That's actually one of my features that I really like. I like my hair. I always like my hands. I like my teeth. And I like my eyes. I think those are probably the things I like. Always hated my lips, especially since I constantly get herpes, so that's not something I ever liked. And anyway, whoa, totally lost my train of thought. Well, that's why you guys are here, right? Tangents and rants. Yeah. So anyway, I'm like, so to me, a preference is something where I generally don't get upset with people if they are like, this is just a preference. Now, shallow to me is when you go into the realm of saying you're unwilling to date somebody for something that is a changeable aspect to who they are. So if you're saying something like, I don't like, people with long hair. I'm like, if everything else works, everything else, like their character is good, etc., 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 that's literally just a walk to the barber shop. I mean, you could probably just I don't know. I'm trying to. The thing I'm trying to get to is kind of I wanted to bounce off with you guys and kind of make it more of a discussion round video. Yeah, let's do that. Look at my glorious hair. What do you guys think of my hair? That's a question I've never asked on YouTube. What do you guys think of my hair? Which hairstyle do you guys think was my best hairstyle, for those of you guys who have watched multiple of my videos? No bad comments about my hair. I won't have it. It's the one thing I really like. Anyway, I wanted to bounce off from you guys. What do you guys think? What is something that is shallow versus what is something that is a preference, right? Oh, I made myself bleed. Because I was honestly kind of more so from the first guy. The second guy I didn't really get to talk with him that long. Because literally, like, one of the first questions out of his mouth was like, "Is your hair long or short?" And I was like, "It's short." And he was like, "Oh, I just hate men with long hair." And I already was like, "Okay, we're not gonna match." The other guy though, like, we were actually talking for like 4 days, and he kept saying how I really like you, and I really like your character, and I like we're getting along so well, yada yada yada. And I actually thought he was pretty cute. Um, and then literally just by me saying that I'm probably not gonna have short hair for the rest of my life, he literally blocked me. And I'm not gonna lie, like, it felt very shallow to me. I'm like, okay, so you're saying I mean, you care more about being with somebody with short brown hair than you do getting along with them. Like, in thinking they have a good character. And I mean, like, that's something that can be extended to everything. Even, like I said, like the preferences, right? Like male, female, whatever. Like, so that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to bounce off ideas with you guys. I'm trying to get your input. Like, when do you think something stops being a preference and starts going into shallow? Like I said, for me, shallow is something you could change about somebody. So you can change your hair color, you can change your hair length. You know, people are like, I don't like somebody who's really fat or really skinny. It's like, well, they can just gain weight or try to lose weight. You know, you can work with them on it if you like it. I don't like somebody who wears nail polish. Well, you can always remove nail polish. Like, if everything else works, then that's going to be the thing that's going to keep you from going into a relationship with somebody. I don't know. Like, it was just very, very weird to me that somebody could feel that strongly about something like hair. Because like I personally do like long hair on men, uh, and taking aside the whole, like, my last video, if you guys haven't, like, if you haven't seen it, go watch my last video. I talked about like not really having dated white guys. I wouldn't say I've never dated white guys. I remember, like, back in San Francisco, I went out with this one like bald white guy. He was so sweet. He was really sweet. He was really, really sweet. But back then I was like still super leftist, and I was like, no, I can't date a white guy because all white people suck. Whatever. Um, but outside of that, like, I've dated men who were more feminine than me. I've dated men who were more masculine than me. I've dated men with long hair and short hair, and I've dated men across every race and color, and I've dated men taller and shorter. I've dated men who are fatter than me and skinnier than me. Like, it's just so, to me, that has always been something where I feel like, and again, I think this is one of those things where like, sorry if I'm so repetitive. Um, sorry, I'm actually kind of thinking I have a good hair day today, so it's like a good day to do a hair video. Should I do a hair video, you guys? Um, hi. I'm actually not in a bad mood today, even though I'm sick. Probably because it's my first day to myself in a long, long time. So I can just like relax and do nothing. Anyway, doesn't matter. Not what you guys are here for. Yeah, and something I just feel like that's not one of those things that always made dating for me in the gay community very, 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 very difficult. I just feel like, especially I get this from you guys because obviously I talk about this all the time, and I get it from my friends because I talk about it to them all the time. But the thing is, like, I feel like the feedback I always get is, oh, you can just meet somebody. Like you're just looking in the wrong places. You're just looking in the wrong places. Strangely enough, nobody ever can seem to tell me what the right places are. But everyone's like, you're just looking in the wrong places. You're just looking in the wrong places. I'm like, well, there's only so many places where I'm supposed to look. I mean, where should I look? In my armpit? Any gay men down there? There might be. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of things that have always been stacked against me when it comes to dating. You know, uh, like I already said, with gay people, it's already more difficult because we're a minority. And then there does have to be physical attraction. There has to be sexual match up, which is always, it doesn't have to be like the most important thing in dating, but it's an aspect of dating, and you have to kind of work out in that way as well. then the fact that I am more conservative leaning, which is not most gay people. And I'm not somebody who is for open relationships and those kinds of stuff. These are all things I've already mentioned a million times. But now on top of that, I also have to say that I think I'm somebody who's very odd within the gay community in that I have very, very, very low standards in terms of my partner's physical appearance. I'm sure I've mentioned this in my channel before, and I know my friends know it's true because the vast majority of people that I show them that I'm, what is that? You guys hear that? The vast majority of men I introduce them to or I show them pictures of that I'm saying like, oh, I'm interested in this guy. They're just kind of like, ew, that guy's super hideous. Like, and because physically I don't really have a lot of. I mean, there's things that obviously, like I said, that I have preferences. Like I do prefer dark hair, but it wouldn't make me not be able to date somebody if they didn't have dark hair. I do prefer hairy people, but I've definitely, like I generally would say the sexiest a man could look for me is when they take off their t-shirt and they look like they put on a sweater. I mean, I just want them to be hair, like I want them to look like Cousin It, like just hair. I don't even know what's underneath it. It's just hair. Like I find that super sexy. And then yet the vast majority of my dating experience, I've dated people who were much less hairy than me, if maybe even like completely hair free. Because for a long time I was a rice queen. That's probably not considered politically correct anymore to say that. Um, and I find, but like, and I find it's the exact opposite for most gay men. Most gay men, it's like I said, like literally telling me for 3 or 4 days that he really is enjoying our chats and he finds that we have so much things in common and he finds me so interesting and he likes me and wow, he has never met a guy like me and all this kind of stuff and somebody who he can talk to these things about. And then the moment I'm like, well, I might grow my hair long again, block. Well, then what you're basically telling me is you rather date somebody that you might not have anything in common with characteristics wise as long as they have short brown hair. They must have short brown hair. That's like the that's the pinnacle of the thing that's important to you. And I think that is something that's very common with gay men. Like there's so much like I only want a guy who is muscular and he has to have a huge dick and he has to have a bubble butt and he needs to have a six pack and he needs to have short hair and it has to be like this and this is the way he has to dress and all those other things and everything is secondary. And I think this is something where again you can really see that men and women are different because that's also a lot more the way straight men are. It's so straight men, there's so much put on, you know, them being the physically attracted to the woman that they talk to. They don't really care if she has a career. They don't really care that much if she has that much going on in her head. And in that, I guess I admit, like I am a complete woman. I am a complete woman in that I am way more picky about the character. I want somebody who shares my morals. I want somebody who is politically aligned with me for the most part. Not everything, you know, there's things, it's fun to have somebody you can debate and bounce ideas off of. But their character, their behavior, their morals, their ethics, you know, how do they treat their family? How do they treat the people in their environment? Are they somebody that carries a lot of integrity around with them? Are they mature? Are they self-sufficient? You know, are they self-reliable? You know, like these are things that are going to make me attracted to the person. And then for all I care, they can be, you know, 5'2" with a little midget dick and be smooth and have long blonde hair, and I'd still be like, okay, well, I can date you because God, at least I can sit with you and I'm enjoying my conversation. I'm enjoying the fact that we're being together. Like you're making me think and, you know, expanding my horizons. Like I just don't understand this aspect of manhood because it's just never been who I've been. I don't see how it's enjoyable to be with somebody that is just eye candy. And like, I don't know. I mean, of course, everybody wishes that they can have like the combination of both. But this is just something where, again, I just feel like, again, has made it more difficult for me to connect with other gay men. And now I'm going to say something I think is really going to upset my 5 viewers. You know, 7.5 on a good day. I know that I'm not an unattractive person. let me just put that as it is. I know that's something that is really gross for a lot of people here, and they're like, ugh, God, that guy's so stuck up and arrogant and whatever. And like, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that I know that I can go to a gay club, and I know that I can attract somebody. I know that I can, you know, meet somebody on Grindr. I could meet somebody on Tinder. I can meet somebody at the club. I can meet somebody if I go to the festival. I can do these things. I'm not saying I'm like just the most drop dead gorgeous thing ever, but I know that I am attractive enough to where I can attract someone. I mean, like that. Like, no, sorry, that was not the most intelligent formulated sentence in the world. And I don't know if because of that, if I am even more so subjected to the incredible shallowness of gay men. And I think this is one of the things that's also really always made me be a little bit resentful of gay men, and that's why I've made so many videos where I've talked about how I want to warn younger gay men going into the community, because when I did still really also work on my body and I had a nice physique and all this kind of stuff, it was even more so the how comfortable other gay men felt telling me things like, I like how you look like this, or you would look better if you shaved, or if you cut your hair, or if you changed your hair color. You would look better if you gained 5 pounds of muscles. You would look better if you lost, like the amount of times I've been told things like that, or where I've dated guys and they're kind of like, even the Greek guy that I dated, and I told you guys, like, for me, he was physically like almost exactly perfection, and he was he was fat, he was a fat guy. I was like bears. I'm like, like I said, if I could pick the perfect man, I would date a bear, but I've dated guys who were skinnier than me as well. And then I remember him actually at one point in time when we were like dating for like 3 months, all of a sudden he was kind of like, you look like you gained about 5 pounds. And I don't like that. And I was like, did this like super fat guy just tell me that he doesn't like that I gained 5 pounds? You know, and again, it made me kind of think like, is this something that all gay men experience? Or is it because that there have been times in my life where I have been in good shape, or I have had like a very standard look that was considered nice in the gay community, in terms of like, having kind of like a beard when the beards were really attractive, or having short hair when the short hair high and tight was attractive, having a nice six packs at one point in time, prior to becoming an old man, my butt not sagging down to my knees, like, and it's just weird to me how comfortable a lot of men feel to tell me something like this so directly. And I wonder if that's an experience that I would have if I had no appeal whatsoever. Sorry, this sounds both really arrogant and is really a downer at the same time. What a weird combination of a video. How can I completely make people be turned off by me by sounding both completely arrogant and super melancholy at the same time? Well, because I'm trying to think, is like, I'm wondering if people are as shallow as I feel that they are, because of the fact that I'm not bad looking. If that makes any sense. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining myself very well. Like, I feel like if you are considered attractive in today's society, then people think it's okay to completely judge your appearance, right? Like, it's kind of like, if you're skinny, it's okay to make fun of skinny people, but you can't say anything about fat people, right? Because skinny is like what everybody wants to be. So if you make fun of a skinny person, if you make fun of somebody who is, like, it's kind of like beating a dead horse, or you don't punch down. It's okay to punch up, but it's not okay to punch down. And I kind of feel like, what do I feel like? Where am I? What's going on? What am I even talking about? Were we talking about my hair? I wonder, I often wonder if my being single sometimes is actually, or I should say, my chance to be in a relationship is actually more hindered by how I look than that I gain out of my appearance, if that makes any sense. Uh, because I think if you look a certain way, you attract a certain type of person. And that kind of person is generally the kind of person that would say something like, do you have long hair or short hair? Oh, you have long hair, I'm not going to date you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't even know what this video is about. Comment below if you know. Comment below if you love my hair. Comment below if you feel like I came across super arrogant and totally tacky in this video. That was not where I thought this video was going to go to begin with, but then it just kind of like came out like word vomit. And comment below where do you feel is the line between preference and shallowness? And what do you value more? Are you one of those people who cares more about being attracted to your partner than their character? Or is it something that has to absolutely be 50-50? Or is there something that swings more as like I can deal with 70% liking their character, 30% I'm finding them attractive, or I need 70% being attracted to them and only 30% character, or wherever you are. Just leave a comment. Leave me a comment, because I'm not going on a trip again for another 2.5 weeks, and I'm just sitting here working and doing stuff. And I need you guys to entertain me by leaving me comments that I can disagree with, telling me how arrogant I sounded and how melancholy, and that I need to find a better dermatologist to help me with my herpes issue, and of course, of how nice my hair looks. All right, you guys. Thank you for watching. Next video is going to be a book review. You better watch. Bye.